Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Bailey Martell.
Best to bundle up. This afternoon will be mainly cloudy with a high of 6 and a low of 0. The clouds will stick around for Thursday with a high of 8 and a low of 2. Friday we'll see some sun with a high of 8 and a low of 1. The clouds will stay away for the weekend, and Saturday we'll have a high of 7 and a low of 0, while Sunday we'll have a high of 6 and a low of 1. That's all, folks. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Bailey. Turning now to national and international news. A former CEO of the McGill University Health Center has vanished, leaving behind more than $300,000 in loan repayments. Arthur Porter stepped down as CEO 3 months before the end of his contract in the midst of construction on McGill's $1.3 billion super hospital. Court documents show Porter continued receiving payments from the university between May and September 2012, long after his resignation. Recent emails from Porter to the university suggest he currently has addresses in Sierra Leone and the Bahamas.
Canadians are going into debt at a faster pace than ever, according to credit reporting agency TransUnion. TransUnion says average consumer debt, which does not include mortgages, went up by 4.6%. A spokesperson for the company says it's the largest year-over-year increase they've seen. He also said in the past 5 years, debit increased 400% more than the rate of inflation.
The search for the next federal Liberal leader is officially on, as the party's National Board of Directors meets today to call the start of the race. Former MP Martha Hall Finley is expected to announce her candidacy today. Other candidates include Ottawa lawyer and David Bursky, Vancouver lawyer Alex Burton, Toronto lawyer and professor Deborah Coyne, and Montreal MP Justin Trudeau. The Liberal leader will announce on April 14th.
Japan's top automaker Toyota is recalling nearly 15,000 vehicles in Canada and a total of nearly 2.8 million worldwide. The recall stems from the discovery of a defective water pump and a steering shaft that may cause problems. It includes 5 models of the Prius hybrid, as well as the Corolla and Wish models made between 2000 to 2011. There has been no reports of accidents because of the problem so far. Despite Toyota's history of recalling millions of defected vehicles over the years, the company is heading to a record high in sales around the world.
Workers in the European Union are protesting high unemployment rates and strict economic measures today. General strikes in Portugal and Spain have forced airlines to cancel hundreds of flights, as well as close schools and businesses. Spain's unemployment rate is the highest in Europe, as 25%. The European-wide strike was coordinated by the European Trade Union Confederation and targets the EU, the International Monetary Fund, and the European Central Bank.
Turkey's defense minister has warned that military force will be used if any Syrian aircrafts enter Turkish airspace. Syrian military have entered a 3rd day of airstrikes against rebel-occupied towns near the Turkish border town of Ceylanpınar. Officials say at least 30 people have died since Monday because of the airstrikes. Media in Turkey reported several towns west of Ceylanpınar have been evacuated to protect civilians from any misfiring. Last month, Turkish artillery opened fire on Syrian targets after grenades hit Turkish homes.
A top Hamas official has been killed in Israeli airstrike. Hamad Jabari, the military chief of staff, was struck while traveling in his vehicle in Gaza City. The attack is first in an apparent campaign of violence launched by the Israeli Defense Force, targeting terror sites and operatives in Gaza Strip. Jabari is the highest-ranking Hamas official to be killed since 2009.
Now with your sports news, here's Lisa Gillen.
Big news for Toronto baseball fans as the Jays have made a big trade with the Miami Marlins. Though neither team is officially commenting yet, TSN says the Jays have taken on more than $150 million in contracts in a deal struck Tuesday night. The announcement won't be made official until all involved players pass a physical, but if all goes according to plan, coming to Toronto will be pitchers Josh Johnson and lefty Mark Burley, shortstop Jose Reyes, and veteran players Emilio Bonifacio and John Buck. In exchange, the Jays will give up Yunel Escobar, Henderson Alvarez, Jeff Mathis, and prospects Jake Marisnick, Justin Nicolino, and Adini Hechavarria. Jose Bautista is apparently on board with the trade, as he tweeted yesterday, "It's a good day to be a Blue Jay." In other baseball news, Bob Melvin and Davey Johnson have been named Managers of the Year by a panel of judges from the Baseball Writers Association of America. Melvin took the award for the American League after taking the underdog Oakland Athletics to the American League West Division title. Similarly, Johnson led the Washington Nationals to their first participation in the playoffs ever. Johnson also received the Manager of the Year award once before in 1997 when he was with the Orioles. Turning now to the NBA, the Raptors beat the Pacers by a hair Tuesday night and kept fans on the edge of their seats as they squeezed into the lead. The 74-72 win comes a night after a tough loss in triple overtime to the Utah Jazz. In another close game, the Spurs beat the Lakers 84-82 with a three-point jump shot from Danny Green with 9.3 seconds left. And the Knicks remain unbeaten with their 5th win of the season. They beat out the Orlando Magic with a score of 99-89. And in NHL news, there is no NHL news. The lockout has hit day 60 with no sign of resolution. While players and fans continue to grumble, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley says no talks have been scheduled. And Tim Tebow is terrible, or so say a number of his teammates, according to the New York Daily News. While sources remain anonymous, Daily News say they spoke to more than a dozen Jets players who had complaints about their backup quarterback. Tebow was touted as a savior by some for the faltering New York team, but seems to have missed the mark so far this season. And that's all for sports news. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Lisa. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Melinda Warren.
The Sexiest Man Alive has been crowned for 2012. A 50 Shades of Grey parody comes to Toronto, and the final film in the Twilight Saga premiered in Hollywood. I will have all of that and more coming up after the break.